Hello. Yesterday we talked about absolute error, relative error, and percentage error, and how to calculate these errors. I tried to explain. Today we shall take one example so that you can understand it properly. Say, for example, again I am revising the technique. You have n observations. Okay, you have say n observations. Okay, which are a1, a2 up to an. Then if you want to find a mean, then just you have to add all these observations and divide it by number of observations. That will give you the mean. Now you are finding the difference between the reading and the mean value. Okay, to find out the absolute error. Okay, how to do it? The thing that is done, okay, in that we have to find out the difference. So if you want to find out the difference between the first reading, say first reading is a1 minus the mean value. Okay, mean value. Okay, that will give you delta a1, and you have to take the magnitude of this. Okay, then you take the difference of the reading from the mean value. Okay, again you have to take the magnitude, that will give you delta a2, and so on you get up to delta an. Okay, and that will be an minus a mean. Okay, again difference is taken as a magnitude. Then you have to add all these differences, that is delta a1 to delta an. So we can write delta a mean, delta a mean, and this delta a mean is a mean absolute error that can be found by adding this delta a1 plus delta a2 plus up to plus delta an, and divided by the number of observations. So that will give you the mean absolute error. So this is your mean absolute error. So now the reading can be written as, how can you write the reading? The reading can be written as the mean value that we found for the first calculation, a mean, plus or minus the mean absolute error, that is delta a mean. So this will become the reading. Okay, we write a is equal to a mean plus or minus delta a mean. Okay, now relative error can be found. Relative error is just the ratio of this mean absolute error, that is delta a mean, to the mean value, that is a mean. Okay, and this is denoted as a relative error, or we can say relative error is delta a mean upon a mean. And if you multiply this relative error, okay, if you multiply this relative error that we found as delta a mean upon a mean, if you multiply it by 100, then you are getting the percentage error denoted by this kind of delta a. So delta a is equal to delta a mean upon a mean into 100. So this is the percentage error. Now how to find this? Okay, and for that one example is there. Okay, you can go through this example. Okay, example number 2.7. Now see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 values which are measured, that of the periodic time. Okay, then calculate the absolute error, relative error and percentage error. See, first of all, mean is found. You can add all these values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 divided by 5 and you get the mean of the periodic time, and that mean is 2.62 second. You can see here it is 2.62 second. Now what is done? Each and every reading is rather subtracted, or we can say this mean value which you got. Okay, this mean value which you got is subtracted from each and every reading. So first reading is 2.63, then minus 2.62, that you will get this value 0.01. Similarly, 2.56 minus 2.62, then you will get minus 0.06. Okay, all the values you are getting. Now all these values which are minus or plus, you have to take their magnitude. Okay, so these minus values are also taken as plus for the calculation. Just you look it down. Okay, arithmetic the only mean is taken. Okay, just we have to write their values only, magnitude we have to consider. So you can see here all these minus values are also taken as plus value. Okay, 0.06 is taken positive, then minus 0.2, okay, minus 0.2 is also taken as positive value. Okay, adding them divided by number of observations, you will get 0.11 as delta t mean, or we can say that this is your mean absolute error of periodic time. So reading can be written as mean value plus or minus mean absolute error. Okay, mean value was 2.62 plus or minus this mean absolute error that we got. Okay, that is, the value lies between 2.62 plus 0.11 or 2.62 minus 0.11. That is, you have the values ranging from 2.73 second and 2.51 second. Okay, so this way you can write. Okay, now we want to find out the relative error or percentage error. Okay, so this 0.11, okay, is taken as rounded off. Okay, and it is taken as 0.1, so it is written as 2.6 plus or minus 0.1. There is already an error in the 10th of the second. Okay, because it is here written as 0.11. Okay, delta t mean we got, that is 0.11. Okay, and the different measurement of time are up to 2 digits, so we have just rounded off. Okay, rounded off to 1 digit, that is 2.6 plus or minus 0.1 second. So it is a correct way of writing, just we have rounded off it. Okay, now we are finding the relative error. Okay, relative error is nothing but mean absolute error divided by the mean value. Okay, so 0.1 is divided by 2.6. Okay, so here 0.1 divided by 2.6 multiply by 100 will give you 4% percentage error. Okay, so this way it is very easy to calculate. Okay, with the help of calculator you can do this sum. Okay, now see this, there are two clocks. They are tested against the standard clock located in a national laboratory, at 12 noon by the standard clock, the reading of the two clocks are. Now 12 noon is the standard time which is taken. Now with respect to 12 noon, the first clock is showing this much time. On Monday this shows 12 hour 0 minute 5 second and so on, and the other clock is showing the time 10 hour 15 minute 6 second on Monday and so on. If you are doing an experiment that requires precision time interval, now see, time interval word is used. We want to measure the interval of time, we do not want to measure a fixed time. Ketla vagya, that we are not concerned. We are concerned about the range of time interval. We want to measure the time range, or range of time we want to measure. Say we want to measure 3 minutes or 5 minutes. Then which clock will you prefer? Now see, for this kind of example, first of all we find out the lowest time measured by the clock 1 and highest time measured by the clock 1. Now see, this is the lowest time which is measured by the clock 1, and the highest is 12 1 minute 50 second. Now find the range. Okay, now we have to find out the range of this time interval. Now 12 hour 1 minute 50 second can be written as, try to understand, I am showing it in a different place. Okay, 12 hour 1 minute 50 second, that can be written as, okay, 11 hour. Okay, 12 I have made 11, so I have to increase 60 minutes. So there was 1 minute already, it was like this. Okay, again let me write this: 12 hour 1 minute and 50 second, that can be written as 11 hour. Now 11 hour, when I say, then 60 minutes I have to add in this column of minute, so it becomes 61 minutes and 50 second. Okay, so this is the highest reading. Now lowest reading is 11:59 and 08. Okay, 11:59:08. Now find the range or difference between highest reading and the lowest reading. Okay, so here is just a subtraction. 0 it becomes, okay, here this becomes 42 seconds, and here this becomes 2 minutes. Am I correct? Okay, so 2 minutes 42 seconds is the range between highest and lowest reading. So this in second if you convert, then it becomes 162 seconds. That is the range between the highest and the lowest reading. Okay, this is the range of highest and lowest reading. Now if you find the range of highest and lowest reading for the second clock, okay, second clock if you take, then the highest reading from your textbook you can take 10, 15, 24. You see or look into your textbook, okay, and lowest reading is 10, 14, 53. Okay, so now if you take the subtraction, now for that I am making a trick. This is 15 minutes, so I am converting this minute into seconds, so 60 seconds I have to add here, so it becomes 10, 14 minute, okay, and 80 4 seconds. Here the other one becomes 10, 14 and 53. Now the subtraction becomes easy. Okay, so the range is 31 seconds. This all becomes 0. So the range of reading is 31 second, or we can say there is a variation of 31 second, and the variation in the earlier clock was 162 seconds. So when you want to measure the time interval if you want to measure, then the second clock is more accurate. Second clock will be more accurate. Okay, the important point is that a clock's zero error is not as significant for precision work, okay, as its variation, because in the first the variation is more, so interval of time you cannot measure accurately, while in the second clock, okay, the range is less. 31 second is range છે બરાબર, and because of this we can use the second clock, okay, then the first clock, or we can say clock 2 is to be preferred to clock 1. Okay, now many times if you are dealing with different physical quantities in the daily life, okay, then the different quantities are combined in physics. Okay, so we have to have, or rather we have to combine the different quantities, and therefore the errors will also be combined. Okay, say for example you want to measure say density, then it is the ratio of mass to volume. Okay, mass upon volume is nothing but the ratio which is known as density. Now there may be the error in measurement of mass. When you are measuring volume of say cube, then you measure the cuboid. If you take cube, you take length, breadth and height are measured. Okay, now when you are taking the ratio of mass upon volume, then their errors are also combined. Okay, now how to combine this error, that is discussed here in the new topic, error of a sum or a difference. Okay, now first of all we have one quantity, say A. We have measured one quantity A plus or minus delta A, and B is measured as plus or minus delta B. Now when you want to combine or you want to add this, okay, then what will happen, their errors will also be added. Okay, delta A, that is if you take plus or minus common, then what will happen, this result in A plus B plus or minus you take common. Okay, so it becomes delta A plus delta B. So their errors, or we can say their absolute errors, are also added. Okay, similarly when you subtract, then also their absolute errors are added. So the rule goes like this, just you remember the rule, when two quantities are added or subtracted, the absolute error in the final result is the sum of the absolute errors in the individual quantities. Now an example is given. Okay, temperatures are taken, say T1 20 plus or minus 0.5, the other one is 50 plus or minus 0.5. Now you want to have a difference, say T2 minus T1 you want to take. So 50 minus 20, it becomes 30, but these errors are added, so 0.5 plus 0.5, it becomes plus or minus 1 degree Celsius. Okay.